Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about for loops in Java. Right. As you can see on the screen, the syntax of for loop. The for loop contains mainly three parts. One is the initialization part, second is the condition part, and third one is the increment part. Right. Okay, to understand the working of the for loop, let's consider an example. So in this example, we are like in the while loop. Here also we are trying to print the values from 1 to 10. So here we are going to use a for loop to print the values ranging from 1 to 10. Okay, when we want to print the numbers ranging from 1 to 10, we could use a for loop like on the screen, right? So first we can see what is the use of initialization statement. As you can see, the initialization statement means what is the use of initialization statement. So you can see here it is written as it is used to initialize a variable or a counter variable, right? So here I is the variable or a counter, right? So we use the initialization statement to initialize a variable, right? So as you can see, we are initializing the value of I is equal to 1, right? Okay, now we consider the condition statement, right? What is the use of this condition statement? The condition statement plays an important role in for loop because it controls the execution of the loop, right? As we know that the loop executes till the condition statement is true. Okay, so here our condition is I less than or equal to 10. That is a condition statement. That means starting from I is equal to 1, the loop will execute till I less than or equal to 10, right? Okay, now we can see the increment and decrement. So here we are using an increment value, right? So here you can see I is equal to I plus 1, right? This increment or decrement value in the for loop also plays an important role, right? Because if there is no increment or decrement, the loop may work indefinitely, infinite times, right? So to the proper execution of the for loop, we should need an increment and a decrement operator, right? If there is no change in the value of I, what happens? There's a possibility of the possibility that for loop may execute infinite times. And inside the curly braces, that is inside the body of the for loop, you can see the execution statements. The execution statement, it performs the action, right? It will give you the desired output, and this statement executes only when the condition is true. Okay, like in the example of while loop, here also we can consider the execution of statements in the for loop. And here you can see that rightmost side it is the program part, and middle part it is the output screen, and leftmost side it is the value of the variable I in the memory. So when we see the initialization part, I is equal to 1. So of course the value of I in the memory is 1, right? Next part is the condition. So we know that value of I is equal to 1. Now we are checking the condition where I less than or equal to 10 is. The value of I in the memory is 1. So 1 less than or equal to 10, yes, the condition is true. Okay, once the condition is true, what happens? It may execute the execution statements. Here the execution statement is that it is going to print the value of I, and on the output you can see 1 is printed, right? After condition checking and execution of the execution statement, after condition checking and printing the output, looking for the increment or decrement, here we are increasing the value as I is equal to I plus 1. We know that current value of I is equal to 1, so 1 plus 1 it is 2. So the value of I in the memory is modified as 2, right? Now the current value of I is equal to, we are checking the condition 2 less than or equal to 10. As we know that the condition is true, right? Once the condition is true, what happens? It may execute the statements. Yes, it is going to print the value of I, that is 2. You can see on the screen, it is going to print the value of 2, value of I, that is 2. After the printing, it is incrementing or decrementing the value. Here we are incrementing the value of I is equal to I plus 1. So the previous value of I was 2, 2 plus 1, it becomes 3, right? Now the current value of I is equal to 3. Again we are checking the condition 3 less than or equal to 10. Yes, the condition is true. When the condition is true, what happens? Immediately it executes the statements in the curly braces. So it is going to print the value of I. So you can see that on the output screen 3 is printed, right? Okay. Once the execution is over, we move to the increment part. Increment or decrement, here it is an increment. I is equal to I plus 1. So the current value of I is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. So you can see value of I in the memory it is 4, right? Again we are checking the current value of I is equal to 4. 4 less than or equal to 10, right? So this condition is true. When this condition is true, what happens? Once the condition is true, it will print the execution, or it will print the body of the for loop. That is, it is going to print the value of I. The current value of I is 4, right? So you can see on this output 4 is printed. Now what is the next step? It is looking for the increment or decrement part. So the increment part is there. I is equal to I plus 1. 4 plus 1, 5. So the value of I in the memory is now modified as 5. Okay. Again the checking goes on. I is equal to 5. So 5 less than or equal to 10. That condition is checking. As we know that this condition is true, right? So it may also print the value I, value 5, right, on the output. Okay. We have seen almost 4 or 5 iterations. And just imagine the value of I is equal to 9. So suppose the value of I is equal to 9. Let's see what happens. Okay, the value of I in the memory is 9. We are checking the condition first. 9 less than or equal to 10. Yes, that condition is true. So once the condition is true, what happens? It will print the value. As you can see, it is going to print the value of I. That is 9 is printed there, right? Now what is next? We have to go for the increment part. I is equal to I plus 1. Current value of I is 9. 9 plus 1, it is 10. So modified the I value as 10, right? So what happens? The value of I is equal to 10. The value of I is equal to 10. We are checking the condition 10 less than or equal to 10. As we know that this condition is true. Once the condition is true, it is going to print the I value, right? So on the output you can see that the current value of I is printed there, right? After printing, it is moving to the increment part. I is equal to I plus 1, that is 10 plus 1, it will be 11. So the value of I in the memory is now 11, right? So the current value of I is equal to 11. We are checking the condition 11 less than or equal to 10. So 11 less than or equal to 10, the condition becomes false. The condition is false. So once the condition is false, what happens? The flow of execution skip the body of the loop and executes the statement just after the loop. Once the condition is false, it jumps out of the body of the loop or skip the body of the loop and continue the execution. So that is what happens here, right? When the value is I is equal to 11, 11 less than or equal to 10, which is a false. So it skips the body of the loop and execute the statement just after the loop. Okay. Okay, if you observe the last value of I in the memory, I is equal to 11, right? And on the output you can see that we have printed the values ranging from 1 to 10, right? Okay students, that's the end of the class, right? I explained only the simple part of the for loop, right? Now I am going to give you a task. You just remove the condition statements or removing the iteration part and see how the for loop works without the initialization statement, condition checking part, or increment or decrement part. Okay, so don't forget to experiment on this. That is, you just try to execute the for loop without any condition, iteration, without any condition, initialization, and increment or decrement, and see the output you are getting. Okay, I'll see you with another video in the next class. Till then, bye.